by the AoE stuns. You know, they have the ink swell, they have the like a lot of problems for him to deal with. Soulbind can be an issue. They have Ravage as well. They have many ways later on, even with the Aghanims from Storm. And I want to point out as well, Storm, Aghanims plus Shard, that is a ton of AoE damage. It's a ton of AoE damage, and it's magical heavy as well. So
yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's really something which you'll have to think about when you're looking at timings this game. Hakoda has just walked into 4 heroes and is kind of dead.
Farewell.
Salute. It's most Evans out.
Yeah.
My king.
Yeah, I like the point you mentioned. Like, this isn't like the Naga game where it's like Naga will eventually just 1v9 this slot type matchup. Because of the Storm things that you mentioned, on top of that, Tidehunter can go for the Act as well. So AoE gushing the heroes down, or the illusions as well. And then the Grimstroke, he can pick up an Aghanims on top of that to throw into the Naga to get some Riptide procs, to maybe beeline it towards the support. So
timings.
There is a lot of scaling for Team Sexy, and it's on them to press the advantage in the early game whilst Naga's farming, be disciplined to not give away some bad team fights, and not have to go for this backup plan of everyone farm your Ags, guys, everyone farm for the comeback plays. But this really has the making of a very competitive Game 3. I think both teams have some comforts and some ways to exploit their opponent's draft. It's really on if they can execute in the decisive Game 3. This is the upper bracket, don't forget, guys. If they are to win, they proceed. If they are to lose, they go down to the spooky lower bracket, but they still obviously have that lifeline. They aren't out yet. That would be, I believe, tomorrow the lower bracket starts. It's very quick.
Yep, yeah, the whole thing lasts not a long time, so yeah, gotta be on it. 4 days is all we've got to find out who is going to TI from this region. Only one team making it through, of course. There can only be one in this region. I think mid lanes, of course, as always, going to be very important. Last game, we did see Ankrad kind of running away with it and then was just able to dominate the whole map. Could be the same thing again. There's Ember Spirit. We haven't talked about him so much, but it's an incredible Ember game. And if he's able to just kind of roll out of control, that's going to create so much space for the Naga Siren. And their 4-man, if this Ember is farmed, this 4-man looks absolutely devastating. If the Ember Spirit's at kind of a normal level, if he's not ridiculously overfarmed, then it still looks scary.
I think it's always going to be scary. I think Ember is, even with like the cast point changes to make using Remnants feel slightly clunkier, the hero is still highly regarded, and if you get active runes, you're always looking for that pressure. You're always annoying a hero. In this game, he's not going to be looking towards the Tide though. He'll always be looking towards Storm up to Slug. So it does give Sexy a little bit of an easier approach to the game because they know the direction of Ember's aggression. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's looking
the CS so
time as well.
Yeah, Storm kind of cruising right now, 12 for 1.
Yeah, great.
Sure, Ember had a couple.
Very, very good. Have a look at some of these other lanes. Down the bottom, of course, Naga Siren versus the Tidehunter and the Grimstroke. Pretty annoying lane for the Naga, honestly. These anchor smashes plus the strokes. Gonna be a lot for her to deal with, but it's a Naga Siren. You know, she can go to the jungle like minute 3 and still be the game. Oh, that catches him out. I didn't think he was going down there at all, but there you go. Spells from Afterlife and Pantomime are just too much for class to deal with.
And this lane is so good. Like Dawn Rubik, Dawn Sky, like Dawn any aggro's ranged 4 is just a recipe for success.
Yeah,
and
I think low to secure the Starbreaker landing, and it's brutal.
Mm-hmm. I think
they have a cancel. They don't have a cancel for it either, so yeah, that's even scarier. They just cannot stop this Dawnbreaker from just rolling on them. That makes the lane really hard.
I think Nifrit in this bot lane needs to go for the Meteor Hammer build. When you have Naga versus Tide matchup, Naga naturally will play probably behind the Tidehunter at some point just to get the waves, then look to farm jungle as well. So Tidehunter's kind of left by himself. So if he gets the hammer, he can actually take the tower and start looking to go down the lane a little bit. If he doesn't go hammer, it will just be Naga always defends, you always hit creeps, and that kind of just a bit of a stalemate. It depends if they have a different perspective on how they want to play, if they have some aura that they might use, but I just feel like Meteor Hammer should just be the easiest way to get into this game, progressing the map slightly. And once you unlock a tower, you suddenly go to mid lane, and you're pressuring the Ember because Tide's here with a hammer, plus the Grim and Io supporting you. I think it's a really good way for Team Sexy to make just simple, easy moves. Specifically because this Slug Io that you've already mentioned can't do anything really. They're going to hit creeps, but if they start trying to chase down, they get Fade bolted, lifted, you know, Celestial hammered, Starbreaker. So many ways for this offlane duo to stop them from just clicking.
Yeah, I'm almost surprised that they've only been brought down once so far. There's a lot of threat, but of course, Scarab now getting active and moving to the bottom side and trying to secure the water rune, but Aincrad's able to grab one. Mirage could be in some trouble here, actually. Yeah, I think it's just going to go down. They've got the grenade.
There's a fairy fire.
Oh, now in from the sidelines. Hakoda helps out as well, and Aincrad is going to be able to get that kill. And is there another water rune? No, there is not. So no bottle refill at least, but yeah, pretty big kill on the Storm thanks to those support rotations. How come Team 60 didn't bring any supports in for that one?
Their heroes aren't the best at rotating, right? Like Io Slark, if Io leaves and suddenly Slark's going to be by himself, potentially in 2v1 situation. Now, same thing for Grim. Like if Grim leaves the Tidehunter, now Naga will 100% free farm rather than farming at, let's say, 75% because of the Grim pressure. Ew. I think it's too early for them to make the moves.
Oh, damage is there on the top lane, but it's not enough to bring down Yezu, and Class is just holding back, salving himself up actually just to try and heal Yezu as much as he possibly can in this engagement, and it's going to do the work, honestly. They use the entire combo, and Yezu comes out on full HP. Pretty good stuff coming out from the Io. You need to get that little ball of light. You can't just throw it on the Slark. Meanwhile, bottom lane, and Kushi could be in some trouble here. There is that ink swell, maybe being popped like a little bit high just to try and secure the kill. They need a little bit.
One more spell.
Available in 1 second. Can he land it till the end? Oh, he's very off the mark. Not even close. That's a shame.
No, I respect you for saying that. You know, some people have said, "Oh, close," but no, you say how it is. He whiffed it. He missed it.
Yeah, he whiffed.
He don't want to go to TI.
He choked. Well, despite the CS advantage in the middle lane from the Storm, of course, he did get brought down by the supports rotation, so it's actually pretty even when it comes to the net worth. Meanwhile, Hakoda looking to bring down till the end, and with Aincrad coming through as well, looking to try and finish the job here with the sleight of fist. Needs just get a little bit closer, and there we go, catch him out on the edge. That is really, really nice for this Ember. You can also pick up the bounty rune here as well. Oh my god. The supports are just making this Ember's game, like, very, very good, and that's what they needed to do.
And now he's actually moving to bottom. Rotation I didn't really expect, but because the tide is so far up the lane, it's a relatively easy kill.
All right. Lovely bite of watermelon for Aincrad as well. My god, killing spree suddenly coming out from the Ember. Gee.
On the flip side, Storm and Grim have smoked up. They themselves are trying to get themselves onto the map, onto the scoreboard. After I've used his Celestial Hammer down the lane,
that means he's dead. In comes the damage. Right clicks are there. Mirage grabs a kill with the DD, no less. Now they can put some pressure on the tower. Let's see if one move we're able to replicate that on the bottom side. Not very likely, considering that
there's a watermelon there, boss. Yeah,
and a big old green wall.
All right, 7 minutes. Grimstroke ready for the top side. Okay, 2 games in a row. Team Sexy get both of the Wisdom runes. And they get the offlane tower as well. Like that move into top, that smoke, it was with the catapult plus the DD of Storm. So they take the Dawn's tower plus 2 wisdom runes. Yes, Ember's having a good time, but they're kind of fixing a little bit of the issues. Yeah, they did lose mid tower actually, so it's not as good as I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, taking advantage of the fact that Storm was there. Storm just actually gets silenced immediately by Pantomim, but Aincrad and Pantomim not quite on the same page there. Or maybe Aincrad just saw the threat a bit differently, but yeah. You gotta deal with the IO when they go for these kind of plays. I think a silence on the Storm doesn't mean much because Class is just behind. And sure, he's only got a 6-stick, but it's enough.
So I think the Shaker mid in the previous game was really fun to see because an IO into Shaker, one blink, you're always going to hit a 2-man slam. If you buy Ags, you then have that ability to also totem on top, and IO does go down, but that's because he's in the river, swarmed by 3 heroes. Yeah, even using the My Bad chat, well, he understands that wasn't probably the best place for him to be.
Yeah. Some days you just want to get on top of that rune spot, you know, deny the Ember an active rune and make your game a little easier.
And look at bot tower. He bought Hammer, what, like a minute ago, and already this tower is nearly dead.
Uh-oh.
They're rotating on him. Are they trying this?
They so.
He has Ravage this time.
Ravage just comes out immediately as well as the Dawnbreaker ulti on top of him, so both offlaners just going to be taking chunks out of each other right here. Nefrit will eventually fall, and Grimstroke also taking some heavy damage as well. Yes, he's coming in. Does land the pounce here onto the Sky Wrath. The Line Class comes down as well to help him out with the overpower. Mirage trying to look for the Rubik on the sidelines. Doesn't quite connect with that one, so it does look like the Rubik's going to be able to slip away. Not much mana to work with on Mirage here, so chance of him getting a lockdown are pretty low. That said, he's trying to bottle up here, and Hakoda just wants to cancel the bottle charge, which feels very, very greedy, and he is going to pay the price for it. Look at that, didn't even...
But Ember's leashed as well.
Die. Immediately looking over towards the Ember.
He has Vortex.
He has got a Remnant out, so he can just move away, and will do that. They don't quite have the lockdown to fully bring him down. Close, though.
Ooh. This is the exciting part of the game, because right now you are seeing the weaknesses of one move's lineup. It is Naga has to farm, and the other four heroes, if there isn't a Solar Guardian, that is the big defensive spell. Everyone else, it's like each for themselves. I Ancient Seal, I Mystic Flare, maybe Ankrad gets a nice select chains, but if Team Sexy can kind of get in and around you, it's spooky, but supports just die.
It's very messy. It is very messy. I mean, it's TI qualifiers. It's what we expect. It's what we want, but yeah.
Tower has been denied.
Some days you just walk up to a Rubik on 200 HP and die. That's how it goes.
Yeah, it happens. Well, what a banging item purchase, actually. If Tide gets this pipe relatively soon, we're going to be seeing a Diffusal, Echo Saber on Slark potentially, a pipe on Tide. Like, a lot of this early game damage is magical. Rubik and Sky going to be doing the heavy lifting, and if they're nullified by, not literally, but just the descriptor word, will be an issue for them.
Another support goes down. Not that notable. It's going to happen this game. There is a lot of kill potential on both teams, so it's hard to stay alive on a support. What is the next thing to fight over? Because this Dawnbreaker ulti is back again, so it's no longer hunting season for Team Sexy, so...
I think the next thing it's... Oh, just killing the Slark.
Oh my god, Slark is just gone. Didn't expect Pantomime just to be hiding in the trees there with the Ancient Seal, and yeah, that's what we mentioned. That the Ancient Seal is going to be Slark's bane this game. I'm wondering even if he wants to go for like a Manta after this this Diffusal or something, maybe in BKB.
It's always awkward. Like, Manta on Slark, it's like, are you going to do any damage in an early BKB? Are you going to do any damage?
Yeah, you're relying a lot on your IO then to be there with the overcharges, and that's just not reliable in this game.
Pretty much. No, I feel like when you're asking about the next move, I think for Radiant at least, it's all about fighting to secure the map for Naga to farm. You're not really fighting to take that tier 2, to take Roshan. It's always make an engagement messy enough that you know, okay, Manta's down the line, the next item's down the line, and if you get any free pickoffs like this, sure, you take them. But it's always move, farm, retreat, smoke, pickoff, farm. Like, that's kind of like, you just continue cycling through it. And yeah, they're doing it quite nicely right now. 3k leads. They're not overexerting themselves. You're not seeing them.
That is not I'm actually going to survive. Okay, all right. They make the trail on supports. Terrible timing on that, as they do just get stunned up immediately by both the chains and by the Inkswell, but looks like they got away with it. And now Mirage trying to follow up here, but doesn't actually use the Vortex. I mean, it's so not super threatening. Wants to combo it up here. Oh, almost gets the timing right, but Makushi is going to fall. And now they jump in, but the chains are there from the Grimstroke there, just holding them together with a Soulbind. Einkrad doesn't care. Takes down 2, looking for more. Nefrit.
And the IO as well.
But he could stay nearby. Not much mana left. Oh, he actually managed to get some. He's got 1, so he's able to get himself enough mana to keep on fighting here. He has the Remnant out, so Einkrad really just trying to min-max this as much as possible. And that's going to earn him yet another kill, but he's got no mana now for the Activate Fire Remnant.
Now Slark's here.
That is unfortunate, and Slark back in the mix, jumping forward onto the Dawnbreaker. This spaghetti show continues. Mirage?
Another Sky's here.
Where did he come from? He's back. Yesu just pops the ulti, gets away. They're going to call it quits. Sexy tap out, and that will give a significant portion of the map over towards one move in the end.
4k lead becomes a 2k lead. These are the scrappier engagements that Team Sexy will thrive on. And you can see Ankrad frantically drawing on the minimap. He's like, guys, just why are we bottom? Just farm the entire left side of the map. We've taken these towers. We have good vision there on the mid, the top dire jungle. let's just get ourselves to the timing where we can fight. We can annoy them, we can poke them, but we don't need to be overcommitting. And now you see it here, Naga moves top. The rest of the body of the Radiant team has moved to the bottom side. Smoke
once again.
Action.
Yep, that's the same
no follow-up
as before. Now, Dawnbreaker's ulti didn't really get a whole lot done there. I'm wondering if Sexy just want to go for the reset and try this one again. The amount of sentries and observers being placed in this area is insane. Why are they fighting over this triangle so much?
I think they are just creating the noise. When you mentioned about what the fight they're doing, I described the idea of poking the fight. Like, this is a good way of doing it, where you you go into the triangle, you look for a kill, you retreat. Naturally, you want to protect this, so you bring more heroes, and Naga gets to farm up on the side. They even get the Mystic Flare.
Oh, silenced up though. Can they save him? The Io's doing his best to try and keep him alive, but the silence lasts long enough to get the kill. Julian jumps in. Ravage is there. It's looking pretty good. Can they finish off Minecraft? Yes, they can. It's a trade of mids. Another go towards Afterlife as well. Afterlife going for the TP out and will be able to escape. They don't have the stuns. They don't have the leash. So there goes the Dawnbreaker. So it's just going to be a straight up mid for mid trade. Maybe the Slark can finally get some income coming his way, because he's been the big loser of this game so far, just unable to really find the fights with the items he's got.
Yeah. And the repercussions of these fights are, when you're naturally going for aggressive moves across the river as 4, you're going to be running into potentially 5, especially with Ravage up, layered with the Meteor Hammer and Soulbind. Like, there's so many counter-aggressive moves, so you just need to pick and choose your battles, decide when you really want to go for that decisive one. Team Sexy continue to scale.
One big problem has been these wards. I don't know if you wanted to mention that, but Team Sexy's wards are just getting obliterated.
Yeah, it feels like one move have the Slark on their team. Not really. Yeah. He does have sentries in his backpack, but for the amount of vision one move have on the map, no, Afterlife is dead. Yeah, when you look at the minimap, it's quite concerning that the Slark team has 2 aggressive wards against them, and their own team has one very southern. Well, it's very bad. This is not a good spot to be in, especially when you're looking for pickoffs and aggressive players. It's the reason why when we saw the Naga pick, it's like, yeah, this will continue to annoy you on the map. All the lanes are pushed in, so Slark's having to push out lanes rather than run across the map. In doing so, he doesn't get his ultimate procced because he's pretty much just AFK dealing with the creeps. Yeah, it's the bane of Naga versus Slark. Slark hates it.
Yeah, it's tough. Not the kind of hero to deal with it. And now the Naga starts to pull ahead. And unless they can do something about it on the side of Team Sexy, that's just going to keep on going this way. They have not really dealt with Monkushi at all. I mean, Monkushi did have that one fight where he kind of rocked up, went a bit too deep under the tower and got himself killed off. That's mercy, because if he didn't...
That was an Inkswell situation, though, because, you know, the buff from 3 to 5 seconds, where it lasts longer? He done the mirror image thinking, oh, it should be ending roughly now. He wasn't used to it going 5 seconds, so he was kind of guesstimating. Because look, 3 seconds, that's muscle memory. 5, you're like, oh my god, this is an eternity. Can it end, please? When do I press it? So it'll take him about another week of playing into Grimstroke to really get that one honed in.
Yeah, I'll certainly getting the honing in done this series, as we have had Grimstroke every single game.
Yay! No, it's probably one of my favorite heroes, to be fair. It's like, you have defensive capabilities, aggressive capabilities, you also scale into the late game. Like, if this hero was pub viable, like, it's a very cozy hero for supports to play to, like, gain him a mark. Because, like, if your team's bad, buy an Ags, become the team, you know? Like, become the 6th man on the roster.
Yes. Dark Portrait can be very, very silly in some games. In other games, it just gets one-tapped.
That's very true. I always use the logic when you're Grim is, when you create the Ag clone, normally the only person that can kill it is the person you've cloned. So yeah, don't lock that clone into a fight with the hero that you've cloned. Like, push it to run at the mid or the support or someone else. Like, sure, if you're against like double big physical damage cores, it'll be an issue, but if you're against like PL 4 protect 1, create the PL, run it on the support, run it on someone else. And this time they're running at Anchored in the mid lane. They don't have enough follow-up spells. Yeah.
Yeah, still only level 2 on the Electric Vortex, so it's just not enough lockdown for them to be able to follow up with the stuns they need.
And another D-ward as well. Oh,
good
They
lord.
tried to get even one ward out, and it lasts, what, a quarter of its duration? And then D-warded by Hakoda Sentry. Oh, okay, this one's going to live for now.
Yes, they have ward. Wait.
Where's and Tide, he's had the pipe for several minutes now, but really yet to see it enable Sexy in the bigger fight.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of just slugging his way over towards Pantomime here, but they're just going to peace out. Well, relocate.
Oh, and Mirage has like no mana. What is this?
Very weird. They're still running at them. No one's clicked on the storm and realized quite how
Dire's current.
poor he is. Mana poor.
Dire's top tower.
All right.
Yeah,
Shouldn't from Team Sexy, I would say.
maybe a little bit miscommunication, but then again, I don't want the Tide to be ravaging that type of initiation. If it was like a core, sure, but seeing him awkwardly chase down a Sky, not the best.
I feel like Klaas was just looking around the map, looking for engagements, and Mirage. I don't know, is it on him to keep his mana a bit higher? To be always ready for an engagement? He doesn't have the
It's between the two. I mean, he has an IO with him, so it's between the two of them to decide the distribution of fighting mana to farming mana, and now Slark gets caught once again by the Sky and tipped as well. The Sky has the Blink Dagger, so he's able to instantly blink in, get that silence, clear off the Grimstroke as well as the Naga sweeps on in. This could be a tier 1 tower bottom. This could be maybe looking at Roshan. They aren't the quickest team to do it, so... But I think... Oh, they have Desolator actually. Yeah, they should be able to do Roshan.
Oh, it's the Deso complete on the Dawnbreak. Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is, yeah.
The Echo Saber this time. Interesting.
Yep.
All right, Roshan's up, and Team Sexy not looking to contest this right now. I'm not entirely convinced they know it's going on, but at the same time, I'm not entirely convinced they could fight it anyway. It's a little tough. Hakoda could just get brought down here. He's about to show himself, come out of Invis in front of 2 heroes.
Surprise!
But that said, they've got help coming through. The Roshan is just being dealt with by the Naga and the Dawnbreaker, and yeah, this distraction is going to mean there's absolutely no chance of... oh, they're leaving the Aegis for Afterlife. Interesting.
He's very much like a glass cannon with this build. Like, yes, you've got a bit of blade mail to spook your opponent, but he's the type of hero that even if he dies, when he respawns, he's going to have another round of Starbreaker. He's going to pack a punch. So I think for high value damage, give it to the Dawn. Let him jump in. He might kill a hero, die, reset, instantly impactful. So I actually kind of like this read. And yeah, we are seeing the Tidehunter go for the Aghanims. You mentioned the power of that, and it is going to be on the cards. It feels like they're playing for a losing game situation right now with their itemization. This is very much a play for the comeback, and Mirage once again trying to jump this Ember. It's the second time we've now seen it in the last window of the game, and both times it's not the easiest to layer up on.
It's not, and now jumping up on the top line as well. They want to try and bring down the Tidehunter, the big boy. I mean, it's a challenge, but it's one they're trying to take. Now, in they go. Double Vortex coming out onto the 2 of them. Akushi's getting pretty low on this. Tries to go for the song, but actually cancels it out as he sees the opportunity for his team to try and make a comeback here. The Aegis is gone. The song. Oh no, into the Starbreaker. It could be pretty damn tasty here. And yeah, the Slark's just going to get absolutely slammed down. Hakoda zaps him with the Fade Bolt to finish the job. Another tip onto Yesu here as Ankrad comes in onto the IO as well. IO's going to fall. They'll move him across, immediately looking for Nefrit as well. It's a nice Inkswell coming out onto Nefrit to try and fight up. I mean, he's got plenty of health in this Tidehunter, but they're just going to go past him and look for till the end instead, and that is a dead Grimstroke on my screen. Nefrit still looking to just kind of fight back here. I mean, they can't do enough damage to the Tidehunter, but everybody else is just dead.
Where was the Storm? Where was the counterplay? I don't think he had enough mana to really enter the fight, but...
No, I think he was put inside that song and just zipped himself the hell away.
Yeah.
Went all the way out.
It just felt so underwhelming.
Yeah.
He zipped quite far, but... Whew. I feel like Team Sexy are like one item away from actually being able to stand their ground. Like if Slark had a BKB, if the Tide had the Ags, and all the items that we were talking about earlier, they're all coming in now. Like Grim, he's queued up the Ags. Tide, he's queued up the Ags. So it's like all these like.
All right, your turn.
The game can go really long, so we can see the fun items. They're already queued in at 23 minutes. Like they're already playing for like the comeback. They're down 9k gold, and they're kind of close to actually getting the kills. But we saw the strength of Dawnbreaker having their Aghanims. The glass cannon jumps on in, dies, but as she respawns, able to then layer on top of that song to kill off the Slark with the final blow of the Fade Bolt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Good moves coming up from one move.
As well, as always, you know, you need to be involved in the kills in order to get yourself into the game, especially when you're behind. But of course, when you're behind, you're very easy to kill, and they will just throw everything they've got at you every single time to make sure that you're not a factor in this game. And that's been very successful for one move so far.
Oh, and the heart coming up as well. She gonna be tanky.
She is large. I mean, it is a backpack heart at the moment. Hopefully that's...
Yeah, it's not as efficient as the... there we go, yeah. Oh, the Axe reveal.
All right, here we go, Monkushi. It's the Ags versus the Heart. Which will be better? I mean, they're throwing everything they've got into it right now, but in comes that Dawnbreaker, diving into the fight, just crashing down upon them. They're going in for the backlines, though, to kill off the IO. The Tide still just trying to get through Monkushi, but it's not enough. And meanwhile, I grabbed an Afterlife. They just cleared up the entire backlines. They've got the Storms. Yesu trying to fight up into this right now. He has no Shadow Dance available anymore and no leap charges left, so he's committed fully to the fight, and he will die for that. Class and Nefrit, only ones left, trying to limit themselves.
Storm buyback.
Storm, though, sees the opportunity onto Afterlife here and wants to try and take it. It's desperate, but it might pay off. It's a long-ass team. That's a lot of damage coming down onto 9 class, but they will be able to kill it, the Dawnbreaker.
Oh, 607 physical damage in one swift blow, obviously after the reductions. That's such a fun spot because like,
can't see it.
It's so deceptive because you see the wind up and it's like, it's not hitting me, it's not hitting me. Oh my god, it hit me. Oh. And that Naga, she was so hard to kill. It was quite a large amount of resources needed to get there, and you could argue maybe if the Storm had BKB and could stand his ground, maybe if there was a Grimstroke Ags, but there's so many factors and maybes and ifs and buts that Sexy really need to answer to even get to a point where they can kill her. I think if one move just regroup and go again, they should be in a good position. The buyback on the Storm Spirit on Mirage has delayed his ability to get to that BKB. He's 1100 gold away. I'm mentioning the Grimstroke, that's still what, 3000 gold? They are incredibly hard to kill. The Ember has Sheaves as well. Like, Afterlife is basically a carry at this point. It's like there's 3 carries on one move with 2 high damage supports behind it. Is such a strong lineup now.
The mid lane, they just go straight past the Ember. They're like, yeah, we're not getting that, guys. He just does a BKB and just murders the IO. Okay, fair.
And the supports both dead.
Supports getting cut down. And that's that disconnect, you know, once they kind of break apart this fight. It's a Storm needs to leave. He's got the zip away. He doesn't have much mana left, though. Has to go for the TP out. Will they be able to close the gap? They will not. Mirage narrowly escapes. Gets a well played from his IO as well, but yeah, that's making the best of a bad situation.
I shall not report you.
But yeah, back to my previous point, I feel like a lot of people will be watching their Slark and going like, what is this guy doing? He's just standing there and hitting people in the fights, but like, that's all he can do. He needs to commit something to the fights, and he's not going to be able to do that if he just jumps in and jumps out with his Aghanim Scepter. He has to commit. He has to just try his hardest to bring somebody down. It might work, but you don't get to play it any other way.
I think we saw in the earlier fight, right? It's he can excel, especially when the IO starts to fight with the Storm, but then pivots to the Slark midway once his stacks are built up. Give him that regen, give him the ability to use, what, 30, 40 agi stacks. He needs a long fight, and he hasn't really itemized for that right now. Yes, he has a Mage Slayer. Sure, he's got the Ags to jump in and out, but against the speed in which Sky Blink silences you, Mystic Flare, the Naga dragging you around the map, you kind of need that BKB +1 to even entertain an engagement, but then you really have no damage and rely on 1-2 minutes of clicking to even get to the point where you're actually doing the killing blow. It's a really awkward position to be in, and it's why Slark into Naga never feels good, because you always feel whatever item you buy, it doesn't pack the same punch. Like, Naga buys a Manta, you have a Diffusal. She buys a Heart, you have an Axe. Like, ooh, I can pounce, but I can't die. You buy a Mage Slayer, but it's like she then has a Butterfly or a Bloodthorn or something. Right? It really is a mismatch, and you rely on your team to kind of get you over the line. And yeah, right now we're not really seeing that from Team Sexy. It is too hard for the supports to position, whilst Ember and Dawnbreaker just cut through and rip them apart.
Radiant are scared.
Yeah, I mean, I think Yesu doesn't really have eyes for the Naga. Maybe he might pounce on her just to reveal the real one, but then he's probably moving to a next target. I mean, he wants to be bringing down these Skywraths, these Rubiks, anybody in the backlines he can catch out.
We have a smoke up nomad. The lanes are relatively in a good spot. Most of them in the middle of the map. So Slark with the gem, leading from the front. Ember actually doesn't have a TP right now. So if the fight breaks out in this very moment, Psych, he has a remnant. I lied.
Gotcha.
Just checking if you're paying attention.
Who is she? He's in the Slark's night vision. He's going first. He sees that. Okay, he wants to get around and not bother with this Naga. They want to try and get to the backlines, but yeah, not going to happen. So now we get the standoff. Yes, it's very far in the front line. This guy has no BKB here, so he's got to be pretty careful. Shadowdance might need to be popped pretty early, and that's exactly what's going to happen, but Class is not savable, and no buyback either on this IO. I think Sexy just needs to try and get themselves away from this one. It's a lost fight, but they're actually sticking around as 4. I mean, they do have the Ravage, but now it's Move's turn to go on the hunt. They smoke up, looking for the engagement.
There's still a ward, you got to be careful, right? Slark dewarding.
Yep.
It's now daytime.
There they go, up onto the cliff straight away on the Rubik, who's stolen that zip from the Storm, and well, Soulbind gets thrown out and doesn't really get a whole lot done either, so everyone just kind of throwing spells at each other, no one really committing to the real engagement. Yesu baiting out a couple of spells from the Skywrathers. The Storm just using so much mana to try and bring this guy down, and Afterlife actually catches him out, might be able to kill him. Mirage needs to leave, but he's being chased by this bolt from the Skywrathers over on the backlines of the fight. Nefrit is going to get sung up as Pantomime does finally fall to Mirage, and Song actually cancels. Yesu starts trying to take some chunks out of Mankushi here, but not really a target, as we mentioned, that he can really deal with. Very awkward, very split fight right now. No real winners showing themselves in the end. A lot of ultimates being used, but they still have that Ravage on the side of Sexy. I'm wondering if they can make anything happen with that, but it does look like one move are the ones who are going to hold the ground and maybe look towards Roshan, which has just spawned, and they can look to take it down.
Oh, what an awkward dance between both teams. It really helped because Sexy had the gem there. They were able to get a couple D-wards out, and Ember just passively doing so much damage. Storm had a lot of discipline not to BKB early in that fight, keeping it when this guy then blinked on top of him. But Dawnbreaker, it just has Io's number. Io shows instantly. Dawn jumps on top. One Starbreaker with the Deso with 14 charges of the damage. The Io's just dead. The Io needs pretty much a Ghost Scepter to even play out this game right now. But they're back at it again. They still have Ravage available. Pushing out the lanes. 18k down, but Sexy still playing as if the game's even. They are really lacking a lot, but they're posturing as if this is an entirely different game, and I respect that.
Hey man, if you believe the game is even, then the game is even, goddammit. But they're committing to the backlines right now. Aincrad just once again just beelining for the supports, wants to bring down the Io. Io pumping out as much healing onto himself as he can. Actually, they might have gotten caught out here. They'll throw down the Dawnbreaker ultimate, but they have enough to bring down Aincrad. The stun is that. They will kill him off. But what's the trade going to be, as Yesu is the one who will fall. One move, take the area. Lift up onto the Storm Spirit. They have the follow-up. The net is not there in time, so the Song is going to get used, and they're going to try and just surround this Storm. They know he's low on mana, and with the they can get the net off as well, and that will be the Storm.
Get the Rubik. No.
Tide on the run now. He's moving himself down below, but they're just surrounded by heroes. As tanky as he is, he will get cut open. 5 heroes dead, and no heroes lost other than Aincrad, who buys back into it for the side of one move. They take the fight, they take the Roshan, and things now looking very difficult indeed for the side of Team Sexy.
Aegis and Cheats, 32 minutes, 20,000 gold lead. Yeah, this is... You can just feel the discomfort in the engagements, right, from Sexy. Like they're doing this posturing, they're dancing around, but they realize like there's just no damage. What do? If they ravage a hero, where's the follow-up? It's a Slark carry. There's a Storm, but there's no Shard in play, there's no Ags, there's no Wombo combo yet. They're still in that kind of point of scaling. Whilst one move, There's Gleipnirs, there's Shivas, there's Blink Daggers, and Hearts, and Scardies, and Orchids, and I could list nearly every item in Dota right now, because that's exactly what they've got in their toolkit.
Just open shop and clicked buy all. Well, Class could be in trouble. Anchorage just running him down here. It's got a glide in there as well, so no chance of getting away, and in comes Afterlife with that big old crit from the Luminosity. That hurt.
I just feel so bad for Grimstroke. I keep clicking on him, and he's always got the same amount of gold. It's always 1,000 or 1,200. It's in that range. And at no point in the last like 8 minutes is he scaled towards an Ags. And it's just like, come on. If you're this player, you're just wishing, like, guys, if I get Ags, maybe we can convert the 25,000 gold of the Naga into 25,000 gold of our own illusion. But I just need 3,000 gold to get there. It's like, maybe you give this guy a couple waves, because I think that honestly is going to be the best way for them to take a fight back into it. Because there is no item that I see Sexy buying in the next like 8 minutes that gives them a, okay boys, we got this. Like a Scardy and a Slark, you're still probably going to die to a Mystic Flare combo plus Naga battering on you with some Orchid. Like, I'm not seeing that get out of jail card right now in regards to itemization. It's really on one move to blunder their lead.
I'm not sure it's going to happen. They have looked like the more consistent team in this series. Like Sexy have shown maybe a little bit more creativity in the plays they can make, you know, a bit more kind of willingness to take fights when they're behind, but one move have looked like the more kind of calculated and strategic team. And Mirage is going to have to force a BKB. He's out of mana here, and the wards will show him. Also leads him towards Class as well. He's trying to get the TP out. Will he make it? Oh, just about done.
Wait,
Goda.
He was hexed in base. He was hexed in the base. He was a little picky in the founding. I can't confirm with my 2 eyes.
That's interesting. Didn't know that was possible.
Yep.
Relo out. Where are they going?
He just went for a... He looked for a bounty and found nothing.
Okay. Well... yeah, he's gonna do a little bit of damage to that creep wave. Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, you get that wave. Okay, alright. Slark has reconsidered his itemization. He isn't going for the Scardy. He has queued up the BKB. He understands that right now, 30k down, 36 minutes into the game, if he doesn't survive a single sky jump, like the Scarif mates have had his number the entire game. He went first item Blink Dagger to continue going down the line of Slark, you're not going to have fun. There it is, BKB. It's not going to help though. Like he's going to live but not do damage. He needs a fight to last nearly 2 minutes of clicking for him to feel relatively good.
All right, how many Essence Shift stacks does he need to win a fight?
He needs to be alive to win a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8. What?
Yeah, 8's not enough. I'm going to say he needs like 40 minimum.
Ooh, okay.
40 minimum on top of the 8 he already has.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. But Hex out onto Io, but no detection on that.
And a song.
Jesus, doesn't like Io. Okay.
Serenading him to the lower bracket.
Does seem to be the case. Yeah, Mirage tries to help him out against the illusions. Oh my goodness, and Afterlife comes down on the side as well. One Starbreaker kills off the other support. Suddenly there's 3 heroes dead on Sexy. It's... yeah, I think they're heading for the barracks, and maybe for the lower bracket, as you say. Middle lane, slowly going down. Mirage and Nefrich just watching from the sidelines. Again, that Aghanims is complete on the Tidehunter, and it's not doing enough, sadly. Again, that maybe if Storm's somehow able to pull his Aghanims out of his ass. And even then, it's not enough. You need so much more. He gets Aghanim's Shard Refresher. Then there's a chance that him and the Slark can kill the Naga Siren. Other than that, she's not dying.
You know what? I will subscribe to this blind belief. Why not?
Yeah, they have a timing. It might be 20 minutes. Ooh, got Afterlife just comes sliding on through, looking to bring down Glass, but doesn't actually get him. Could he be in some trouble now is the question. I mean, Jesse's just trying to commit to this one as hard as he can. Drops everything. Depth Shout, Shadow Dance, everything being used to try and make this fight work. And guess what? She just sings a song of her people, and Sexy are suddenly out of ammo.
He's kind of...
Okay, Storm gets the high ground. Is trying to jump down, finding the big targets, but Afterlife just heals up fully from one Starbreaker. Might have had a cheese in there as well, by the looks of it. And Sexy now have to swing it into reverse, but the Tidehunter, unfortunately, he's too slow to run away with the rest of his team. That is Inkswell is going to start doing a lot of work, but Afterlife once again just through the backlines, takes out everybody. 3 heroes dead in the blink of an eye. This Dawnbreaker is just going absolutely insane right now. They're trying to hold up, but they're trying to hold on to their last chance of staying in this upper bracket, but it's just not happening. It's Ikarad's turn to get the triple kill now. Afterlife picks up another, and the GGs are called. Game number 3 will go to 1 move, and they will continue themselves in the upper bracket as an ultra kill comes out by Ikarad in the end.
And some final tips as well. A little bit saucy to put a team to lower bracket, to tip the IO in the final moment.